Hello and welcome back to a new video. Today we're gonna talk about this little thing. It's the feiyutech Scorp Pro. And this is the gimbal I'll be using for a while now. And feiyutech did send me this one. feiyutech did sponsor this video, so thank you to feiyutech. But this review is gonna be my honest opinions about this gimbal. So I want to go over the things I don't like, the things I like about it, and go over some of the settings I use. Right now I have the Sigma 105 Art just to demonstrate. It can take up to 4.8 kilograms, which is really heavy, and this was the heaviest lens I got. I just put this on with the old Nikon here to demonstrate, because right now I'm using the Nikon to film this video. And yes, I've been using Panasonic, but I'm waiting on a new camera and hopefully it will arrive very soon, so then I can take the Nikon away. As I said, it can take 4.8 kilograms, which is the first thing I really like about this, because it can take all the gear I got very easy. I don't need to worry about putting on a lens, a zoom lens, and going through all the focal length. When I shoot cars, I use zoom lenses a lot, so I can get different type of shots just with one lens. My favorite lens when I shoot cars is the 24-105 f4, and when I use that lens and this gimbal, I can go through all the different focal lengths without rebalance the gimbal because of the motors. It can handle it. I just balance it maybe between 60 to 50 millimeter, and then I can use the whole 24-105 without rebalance, and that's a really nice thing to have, because rebalance takes time, even though it doesn't take that long, but it would take long if you're gonna rebalance it every time you're gonna change up the focal length. So that's really nice. 4.8 kilograms is really heavy, and compared to the size, second thing I want to talk about is the form factor, the build quality, and the size of this thing. It's really tiny, as you can see. It's not that big. And one thing I was worried about was the form factor. But it's been working really good for me and for the things I use it for. I like the build quality. It feels solid. It's easy to take on shoots and go into different locations. One thing I don't like is this. The handle here, it starts directly. It's no distance. So when you're gonna put it down, you need to hold on to this and then go down. Instead of having a little bit longer right here, it would be easier to hold that, flip this thing out and put it down. But now it's a little bit hard to put down, and that's a small thing I don't like about it. Other than that, I like the form factor. I like how small it is, and I like the build quality. I think it's like aluminum, so it's pretty light. Of course it gets heavier the more gear you put on. And the second thing I like about this is that with smaller camera you won't have the problem that this is getting in the way, as it normally does with gimbals. Then let's talk about one thing I don't like, and that's these things. When you have aluminum going against aluminum, you will get some weird friction, or I don't know how to call it, but it's almost getting stuck, it feels like. So once you're on a shoot and a little bit stressed, it's getting a bit annoying to real balance it out on sets. So that's why I use the zoom lens, so I get different types of shots with just one lens and without having to rebalance it. I think it's because of the material of the gimbal, and this is the hardest axis to balance because of that. That's one thing that's a little bit annoying, especially when you're a little bit stressed and hungry and have been shooting for a while. Then it just gets annoying, at least for me. You can slide the camera with this, you can slide it over, and then you don't have to use this. But it would be nice to have, I don't know, something that makes it easier to slide. I guess over time it will loosen up a bit. As I said, I've only been using it for a while, but I wanted to use it before I make a review of it, and I really like it. Then you have these lock mechanism or lock switches that I really like, because I like to save time on the small things, and I like to save time on shoots. So once I need to go to another location and don't want this in my hands, I just put it to lock on every axis, and I can easily take this with me. I can just put it in the back seat of the car like this. Then I don't have to rebalance it every time I move on to another location. I have had gimbals with like lock switches, but over time they have loosened up. So when you come to a shoot, the gimbal is all mixed up and you have to rebalance it anyways. So I like to take it as it is with the camera, everything on, so I save some time and can just go to another location and start shooting. And then you have this, because I work with some companies that wants content for their social media. So vertical mount or vertical shooting is very necessary. So this thing you just pull out and put it to vertical without having a cage or a bracket. So it's really handy. You can just use your plate that you use with horizontal mode and put it into vertical mode. Just go shoot. You need to rebalance it, but it doesn't take that much time. Okay, then let's go over some settings I use. So let's start this little thing up, then it will fire up. Then on this front you have the, like, you push it 3 times, it will go to selfie mode. Push it 2 times, it will go back and like to center. Let's go over these things first. You have a knob here, you can customize to tilt or pan. I have both mine set to tilt, just because I like it that way. You have separate batteries. You have 1 battery in this one and 1 battery in this one. I'm gonna show you why you have it like that, but once you have this sitting right here, you can just press this button and this will fire up as 1 battery. You have some buttons. Here you have the mode, and then you have 3 buttons right here, and the knob, and 1 button right here. But this I normally don't use. I just use this handle right here. And what I mean with separately batteries is that you can take this away and you can use it, and that's really nice, especially when you're shooting cars. This, I think it has a reach of 20 meters, so you should be able to have this on a car mount and then shoot rollers with this thing and use a wireless transmitter on the camera, so you can use a monitor too. You can use it like with motions, but I haven't set that up yet. But yeah, this is a really nice thing to have. So I have to try it out. That's why you have to charge this and you have to charge that one once you get the gimbal. So you have battery in these two. Then I want to talk about this little thing, the LCD screen. The touch works really good. Then you have motor power, follow speed, the follow modes and scenario, and it's like time lapse, auto rotation, panorama, selfie mode and track video. Then you have these normal modes, like the power. You can auto tune the gimbal, auto tune the motors to set the correct strength of the motor. And then you have follow speed, and that's one thing I want to talk about. The first thing I do when I get the gimbal is go into the follow speed, because it's usually set to medium, and that's really fast and jerky, I would call it. So the first thing I do, I try to find if there's a custom dial so I can set my follow speed as I want it. Right now I have set mine to follow speed 2 and the dead zone to 2. So it's working with me really smooth and really slow. So I just have to plan it in my head to get the right movement. You have to find out what's worked for you, but I have set mine to 2 and 2, just so you know. And then you have on the home screen, you can almost call it, then you have follow modes, you have pan follow, you have pan to follow, and you have lock. It locks all the axes, so you can move the gimbal how you want it, and the camera will stay in center. And then you have FPV mode, and then you have FFV. It's like sports mode, very quick and responsive. Just find it out what works for you, and then you can scroll up, and then you have the main knob. It's this bigger one on this side. You can set how you want it to work, how fast you want it, and you can do the same on the knob right here. So the screen is really nice. What I like about it is that once you fire up the gimbal, you go directly to the home screen, and it's not too much on the home screen. It's just the motors, if you want to set like auto tune it, the follow speed. It's just the necessary things in one place. Once I use a gimbal, I use it very simple. I don't go in and customize every button. I just customize the motors, follow speed, and that's almost it. So overall, I really like this gimbal. It has some things that could be improved, but overall it's a really nice gimbal. Thank you to feiyutech, and thank you for sending me this gimbal to try it out. I really enjoyed using this, and it will be fun to use this in many shoots to come. I think that was all for this video. Would I recommend this gimbal? Yes, I would. At least try it out and see how you like it. Maybe it's not for you, maybe it is for you. It does what a gimbal should do. It gets you the buttery smooth videos. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, because it helps me out with the algorithm on YouTube. If you like this video, maybe consider subscribing. I would really appreciate that, and hopefully I will catch you in the next one. Bye.